Alright, this is the episode most of you have been waiting patiently for. Today, I'm going to install a few games in Wine and Vineyard. I'm going to go through the process of showing you how to add some PPAs that you're going to need for this demonstration. I'm going to briefly cover PlayOnLinux, but mostly we're going to be using Wine and Vineyard today on Spatry's Cup of Linux. Okay, for those of you who are not aware, I have a number of playlists. Please check my playlists here when you're visiting my channel, and I'm on my channel right now. And you'll see that I have a number of them here. I have the Mintathon. I have a playlist on wine. I have all of my reviews here. I have all of my free Linux gaming, my Pin Guy 1104 how-to series. This series you can use on any Ubuntu-based distribution that is running GNOME 2. So if you're using Linux Mint 11, this will work. If you're using Zorin OS 5, this will work. Any Ubuntu-based distribution using GNOME 2, you can follow these tutorials, and you can do all the things demonstrated in them on those operating systems. I also have a discussion, audience participation section where I have guests on my show. I have Linux for beginners. These are reviews of Linux distributions that are great for beginners. And then of course I have the terrible Linux distribution section. If you know of any distributions that are absolutely wretched, please let me know so I can add more to these. So you can pretty much find a number of things. I have over 130 videos up, so, and I've tried my best to categorize everything the best that I can. Okay, now we are in Wine, running Windows applications and games. Okay, let me go ahead and close this now, and let's open up the Synaptic Package Manager. For this demonstration, I'm making a recommendation that you completely uninstall Wine, because I'm going to give you a PPA you need to add. Alright, I'm running Wine 1.334. I'm not going to remove this, but I recommend that you uninstall Wine if you have like 1.2. That's the stable version, and this may not run very many applications that we're going to try. So I'm going to give you a PPA, and those are going to be in the show notes. Also, you're going to need to install Vineyard. Let's go ahead and close this. But you before closing, you just right-click on the Wine and then mark for complete removal, and then click Apply to take out Wine, because we're going to be adding some PPAs. Alright, let me open up my show notes here, and I'll have these included in the show notes below. Alright, we're going to add these two, and I'm just going to go through the motions because I already have these in. And so let me just zoom in on this so you can see it. We're going to add PPA ubuntu-wine/PPA, and then PPA cybolic vineyard-testing. Alright, let me show you how to do that. What you can do is go to your menu and just type in sources. If you're using GNOME 3, there's a search box. If you're using any particular menus, If you're using a standard menu, you're going to have to navigate into administration or preferences to find this. Or if you're using Mint menu or Codec, just type in sources. And you'll click on software sources here. It will prompt you for your password. Alright. Then under other software, you're going to select add. And you will copy and paste. Right click copy. Right click paste. And then press add source. I'm not going to do that because I already have this in here. You'll do the same thing. You'll copy and paste the vineyard-testing and put it in here and then add source. When that's done, it will ask you if you want to refresh. Definitely you do. Next, once everything has refreshed, you will go into the software manager, into the Synaptic Package Manager. And then you will do a search for wine. Because you've uninstalled it, you will then be able to see wine version 1.3 is in there. You will need to right click on that and then mark for installation. Then click apply. It will install that program. Then you will do a search for vineyard. V-I-N-E-Y-A-R-D. Okay, and you will need to install that one again. You'll right click and then mark for installation. Now, if you're using PinGuy OS 1104, you already have Vineyard installed. So, what you will need to do is, you will need to uninstall Vineyard first, add the PPA, and then install it through the Synaptic Package Manager. This way you're getting the latest version. Okay, now that we've got that cleared up, next we'll go into our menu. If you're using GNOME 3, or as I've explained before, you're going to do a search for Windows. Okay, and you will see that there's a program called Windows Applications. It's also in the System folder. We'll click that. Alright, now we have a number of we have a default wine prefix, and I created one before called developer, and I use that to run all of my applications. Okay, we can even make a new one, and I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. First, I'm going to make one specifically for games. I just want you to see this program because there's a number of things that we can do. We can go into General Configuration Settings. We can select a version of Windows that we want to run as. I choose Windows XP. I feel that one's the best. And we can also have it display hidden files if necessary. Not really necessary for me. Okay, now you can show Linux window frames, show windows in the taskbar, that sort of thing. They'll appear in your taskbar if you have that plugin enabled. You can smooth font edges, new flat style menus, open program windows in a virtual desktop. I'm going to enable that for when we set up our gamer system. Okay, also we have places. These are emulated drives and folders. We're not going to really worry about this right now. In devices, we can enable hardware vertex shader support, hardware pixel shader support, font anti-aliasing, DirectX programs to capture the mouse, allow switching resolutions. We can render off-screen images. The detect 3D video memory size can be set as auto-detected. In libraries, This is where you will change existing DLL overrides. I haven't played with this and I haven't done anything with it. In programs, it shows a list of installed programs that I already have in the developer wine bottle right now, and I can run or uninstall these from here. It's taking a moment to load because I have a lot of stuff installed in here. It's amazing how many applications Windows applications that I was able to get running in this. We can also install things. These are dependencies that may be required for you to get a program up and running. And then we have tools. We can run the registry editor. We can run the control panel. We can run a command prompt. We can simulate a reboot, simulate a shutdown, close all programs, kill all programs. We can open up our main drive, and let me click on that and show you where it's going to put them. It's going to put them in your home, local, share, wine prefixes folder. And then of course we're looking at developer and drive C. Let me close this now. Okay, so this is your wine preferences using Vineyard. Let's close this. And now I will navigate and find a game that we can install. Okay, I've navigated to a folder where I keep a number of my games stored, and I'm going to install Neverwinter Nights, one of my favorite games from GOG.com. Before we do that, we need to make wine prefix. I should not have closed that program, Windows Applications, so let me go ahead and open that up again. And you're going to see here, to the very right, where it says default, there's this little icon here. We're going to click on that and select add a new prefix. We're going to call this one gamer. And then OK. It'll take a moment to create the wine bottle. Good. Now, let's go into Tools. And we're going to tell it to run an executable. I have some links in the show notes for two files you're going to want to get. First, let's go into Downloads here. And I'm going to install DirectX June 2010 redist. That's DirectX 9C. I'm going to open that and then press Run. Okay, and as you can see, we've got the DirectX SDK here, and we're going to select Yes. And we can browse to where we want it to go, because it's going to want to extract all the files. So why don't we create a temporary folder here. Okay. What we're going to have to do is we're going to have to go into, we can't see that hidden folder, so why don't we just extract them to the desktop, and then I'll create a folder \dx. Okay. We'll extract all the files, and then we'll go ahead with the installation process, I think. If not, we may have to actually manually run it. Let's find out. Okay. Looks like we're going to have to manually run this. I forgot about that. So now that we have our gamer set up, we can run dx-setup-exe, and then we are going to select the gamer configuration. Okay. Of course, we accept the agreement, otherwise we can't install it. It will go ahead and install those for us. Let me navigate to my downloads folder. There's another file here. I'm also going to install the K-Lite codec pack. The K-Lite codec pack will allow you to run pretty much, sometimes you're going to run into these errors that you're seeing right here. Don't worry about that. If the program finishes installing and that sort of thing, you know, sometimes it'll say it exited with an error. Pay it no mind. Okay, but as I was saying, the K-Lite codec pack will allow you to run just about any kind of video file on a Windows machine. And a lot of games require different video codecs, otherwise you're not going to have any of the cutscenes display. So you definitely want to install this. And it's a nice alternative to Windows Media Player being installed. So I'm going to double click this, and then we're going to select the gamer configuration. Okay. Alright, and then we're going to install it. And okay, we're just going to go into simple mode on this. We'll enable an internal decoder for H.264, that's fine. Media Player Classic works. And we'll select all. Oh yeah, that's fine. Yeah, and then there's a select all video, select all audio. So that's fine. Okay, I'm going to say 2.1 stereo, because that's what my computer has. And we don't need any toolbars or home pages or Bing. We'll let this install. And while we're waiting on that to finish, I can actually close this folder. It's writing things to the virtual registry. So yeah, setup should fix the problem. Okay, we can select finish here. We're done. Alright, we don't need the DirectX folder anymore. Close this too, we don't need it. Now that DirectX is installed, we can safely delete these files, or if you want, you can compress them into a tarball and save it for later. That way you don't have to download it again. I'm just going to go ahead and delete it because I have the installer saved. Alright, very good. Now, in the install section here, we have a number of other options that we can install, such as you can install 7-zip. Don't really need it. You can get Adobe Air. You can get Internet Explorer 6, Internet Explorer 7. These may be essential for some of your programs that have help files that require Internet Explorer to be installed. So if you think you might have an application that's going to require that, always read the requirements on any applications, Windows applications you're going to run, to see what they need. Okay. We've got Media Player Classic already installed. You can download Shockwave Player if you want it. You can get the QuickTime 7.2. You can even install Steam on this thing, and sometimes it'll work. VLC Media Player, Windows Media Player 9 or 10. By installing the K-Lite codec pack, we have everything that we're going to need in terms of viewing. Okay, well, we can tell it to install Direct3D from DirectX 9 if we want to. Why not? Even though we installed DirectX 9, this may have something extra in there that we might need. An extra DLL file or whatnot. So let's go ahead and do that. This may take a moment to do. Wow, that did take a while. Okay, now some games require .NET, so we need to install that as well. I'll just install the latest version. Okay, and it legally requires that you own a Windows license. Well, actually, I do. So we can install this. I have a Windows XP license. This will run on Windows XP, so I can do it. And believe me, with 25 computer cases sitting over here, I definitely have proof that I have licenses. I have a license number for everything from Windows 98 all the way up to Windows 7, so I'm good. Alright, moving right along. Alright. It's configuring the install. Looks like it did Net Framework 2. And then it's going to do Net Framework 3. That's weird. I still haven't even had a chance to look at all these computer cases. There's quite a bit of them. But there is a license sticker on the outside of each one. So, I'm going to be having some fun building a new computer here one of these days when I get the time. I've just got so many videos to do in my queue right now. It's unbelievable. But I'll get to it eventually. Maybe Christmas Day I'll be sitting down building a new computer or something. Who knows? Okay, and it looks like this is going to take a little while, so I'm going to go ahead and pause the video while this is all installing. I am so happy I switched to Linux. A lot of these components for Windows are just so bloated and they take so long to install. I mean, Net Framework, this is the version 3 now. We just selected version 3. It wanted to install .NET 2. Okay. And it has already been 10 minutes, and this is how far .NET Framework has gotten. I never see anything take this long to install in Linux, but if we want to have this functionality run our Windows programs, unfortunately we have to wait on these things. And it doesn't matter how fast the computer is, you always have to wait on them at some point. So we'll let this finish. Well, get this, .NET FX or .NET 3 failed to install, and I wasted all that time waiting on it. So I'm just running .NET 2 Service Pack 2. That should be all that's going to be needed for most of the games I'm going to try to install in this. Matter of fact, I think I had this problem in my Developer Edition too. Okay, I've read and I accept the agreement. Yeah. Install, and we will see how. I don't think this one will take very long to install. I hope. Alright, now let's get a Visual Basic package installed. Let's go with Service Pack 6 runtime. Now, by the way, after these packages are done installing, this bar is going to keep going. So once you get the successfully installed dialog, it's okay to press cancel and then move on to the next item. Give this a moment to install. There we go. Okay, let's see if there's anything else we want to add to this. You could install the Mono 2.6, which is the open source .NET implementation if you want to. We've already installed .NET though. And then we have C++, so why don't we go with that. My bad, I forgot to mention that we need to install Microsoft Visual C++ 2008. 2010 is not compatible with the Windows XP wine bottle. So I've got that running right now. We'll install this. Okay, very good. That was quick. And then, of course, we can close this. Okay, and then we have Microsoft XML. Let's go with XML6. Okay, some games do require the NVIDIA PhysX. Games I'm installing do not require this. So if you're installing games that require physics, you're going to need to either install that here, or you can install it when the installer has it on your game CD. Alright, now we do not have to install the OGG filters or codecs, because we've already installed the K-Lite codec pack version 8, which has all of this contained in it. You are going to need the fonts though, so let's go ahead and install those. Now, something I need to point out is that I've already installed all the fonts and everything. But what happens is some of these programs, as you're installing them, it'll look like the progress bar keeps moving back and forth, back and forth, back and forth long after something has installed. It's okay to press cancel, and if you're not sure if it's installed, try and install it again, and it will give you a message saying that it is already installed and skipping. It's probably a minor bug in this because we are running the latest version and not the stable builds. I've had very good luck with this though. Alright, so that now that we've got all of this stuff installed, let's go ahead and close this now. And then we can run setup Neverwinter Nights Diamond EXE. Double click it. We're going to select our gamer wine bottle, and we'll select OK now that we have all of our packages and everything and dependencies and stuff installed. I know the file integrity on this is good, so I'm going to just go ahead and skip that to save time. Alright, and then we will press yes and start installation. This is definitely going to take a while, so I'm going to pause the video. Alright, I tried to install Neverwinter's Nights into the gamer bottle and it just didn't work. And that's one of the things about installing games in Linux, it's hit or miss. So let's try something else. Let's install Broken Sword. Give this a moment for Vineyard to pick this up, and we will put it in gamer. Okay. Alright, I know this file integrity is good, so I'll go ahead and skip it. I've already installed this game in my virtual machine. Alright, we'll select yes, and we'll start installation. That's just one of those things. Now, while this is installing, let's have a look at PlayOnLinux. PlayOnLinux will let you install a number of games, and the really nice thing about this is that it will install all the dependencies that each game actually needs. So you can try this one, and there's a large list of games and applications that this will run. I happen to like Vineyard because it runs all of my Windows applications just fine. But for games, you have to try different things. It's still refreshing PlayOnLinux here. Once that's done, we can actually look and see what kind of options you can get. In games, you can see there is a huge list of games here. So if you have any of these games, you can try and run them. And a lot of these games are fairly recent too. So you might want to check through this listing and see if those games will run. It'll run Dragon Age Awakening and Origins and Dragon Age 2. These are popular games, and actually I love Dragon Age Origins. That was a wonderful game. Okay, it'll run Fallout 3. So you may want to look through this listing. If you have these games, you'll definitely want to try this. Let me see if Neverwinter Nights is even in this list. Neverwinter Nights 2. I could probably try and install this Neverwinter Nights using PlayOnLinux. Using the Neverwinter Nights 2 configuration file would probably work. So there are a number of lists already here. It'll download the proper DirectX version, it'll download the proper video codecs, everything that you need for getting it running. And it even runs The Witcher 2. Cool. I just don't have a fast enough computer to play that game, otherwise I'd get it. So at any rate, yeah, there are a number of games that you can install using this as well. We close this up here, and let's see how installation is progressing on this. Yeah, we'll close that. Alright, now to navigate to the folder, because the installer did not put an icon on our desktop. I hate it when they do that. And what we'll go ahead and do is we will go into Windows Applications. We'll select Gamer. Go to Tools once Gamer appears. Open main drive. Or better yet, if we don't want to wait on this program, we can just simply go to it this way. We just put backslash dot backspace and dot local, I'm sorry. Then press enter. Go into share. Wine prefixes, gamer, it's right here. Drive C. Program files, GOG.com. It's in the Broken Sword Director's Cut. Now, before we run this, we want to make sure that we go into Appearance, and we're going to open this program in a virtual desktop at 800 by 600. Alright, we'll close that. We're good. Alright, we'll double click the exe file. It'll want us to run it in Gamer. And of course, it's going to work. I'm going to skip the cutscenes on this. And as you can see, we've got a working game. Alright. I'm just going to go ahead and quit this. Alright. We'll close this now. Alright, now I have another game I want to try and install. My favorite game of all time, Microsoft Freelancer. Let's see if we can get this one working. Alright, and we will go ahead and run setup.exe here. And we want this to go into the gamer configuration, and okay. We've already installed our support packages, so we should be good. Alright, and we will just press install. Alright, it says it installed the game successfully, so let's have a look. Go to the setup menu here, and I am just going to close. Alright, now I've already navigated to the folder where my game resides, so I'm just double click it. I'm going to run it in the gamer configuration, of course. And let's see what happens here. Okay, I accept. It always displays this dialog. Wow, I did not expect this to happen. Every time I've tried to install this game and play it, it never ever worked. Very nice. So let's go into new game here and let's see what we get. Ooh, hot diggity. Alright, and remember, I'm also running compiz. If I were to shut off compositing, I could probably even get a better frame rate. This is too cool. My favorite game of all time is running on here. I'm just going to go ahead and press F1, quit to main menu, because you just can't skip this cutscene in this game. Oh, I'm really happy about this. So I'm just going to go ahead and exit this game now. Alright. Alright, let me pick out something else we can try. Alright, I found another game CD. Another one of my favorite games is Homeworld 2, so let's go ahead and set this one up. Double click it, take a moment for Vineyard to capture this, and naturally we want it to go into the gamer configuration. Select OK. Of course. Alright, I'll go ahead and pause the video while I install the game. Okay, now I get the fun task of updating the game. And if I remember correctly, this takes a while to do as well. So I'll just go ahead and pause this while it's updating. Alright, now that's finished. I've navigated to where our executable file is, and let's see if this will work. Hey, look at that. This should be interesting to see if this is going to work. Oh, very nice. Okay, very nice. Although, I may have to have the mouse capture here. That or because this is in tutorial mode. It's not giving me all the controls that you can do. Okay, well, very nice. Looks like this game is working. Okay, cool. So you can try installing a number of different games. Older games should work pretty well with this. Neverwinter Nights didn't work, but the thing is I can go on Wine HQ and find out what it is that I did wrong to see about getting it working. If you thought this was useful, please hit like and subscribe. Also catch me on Facebook and Twitter. The next thing on the menu is the Christmas special, and that's probably going to take a little while to do because it's a lot of animation and stuff, and I think I'm going to go crazy. So, hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll see you again next time.